This. Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity on behalf of StarCastTV. Upper right hand corner, we've got Shuttle starting as the white Protoss. Upper left hand corner, we've got Soulkey starting as the green Zerg. This is going to be on Lemon once again. I'm trying to think if I've seen a game on Lemon that wasn't a TVP. This time it is going to be Zerg versus Protoss. So Zerg gets the benefit, I guess, of early double gas. Because this is, yeah, that's full gas in the base. I don't know that can... So it's like you already have your natural. So I'm curious if there'll even be an attempt at grabbing a hatchery at the natural expansion for just the 5 minerals that are there. Because usually when Zerg are grabbing that natural expansion, it's not for the additional minerals, it's to get access to that secondary gas that's so important. But the problem will be past that. Okay, where do you grab your third, and I guess fourth gas, and defend it? So we'll also see how Snow opts to play it, or sorry, Shuttle opts to play it from here. Shuttle starting to scout upper left-hand corner, has already plopped down a pylon to maybe go for... It's possible to create a blockade and maybe go for a Forge first opener to get a quick second Nexus. I wouldn't put that past their own possibility. Checking along that edge is going to get first scout overall. Yeah, no pool opener as of yet. Well, okay. So it looks like this is transitioning into pool opener after seeing that initial first scout. Shuttle walking out towards that natural expansion. But again, the natural expansion, I'm actually a little bit surprised that it was a pylon scout here, given the nature of this map. Because I don't know that it's that costly or important to deny this natural expansion to a Zerg in comparison. Anyway, drone doing a pretty good job of harassing that probe away as well. It looks like it is going to be a Forge first opener, respecting that pool. It's kind of another aspect of this is, yeah, you go pool first on this, but you're not obligated to build Zerglings. You can still just pump the drones. So really that second hatchery, it's more important to just get the larva out in the field, I think, more than anything. But anyway, probe making its way back. We'll see how many Zerglings get fielded. Overlord's able to walk and see that natural expansion with a lack of cannon being built. Not that there is a lot of punish opportunity, because it's just going to be the 2 Zerglings out in the field. I mean, there's maybe a run-by possibility. And a third drone already making its way out to, looks like, I assume this is because we already have the Overlord Scout. So it looks like this is going to be the third base at the 9 o'clock location. Now, getting additional gas for Zerg is oftentimes an issue, but here you've already got 6,000 gas out of 2 geysers, so that's going to be 4 gas very, very rapidly that Soulkey can tap on. It's just a matter of, I guess, having the build order to secure it on just kind of an odd sort of plane. And now the question is how does Shuttle harass or slow Soulkey down? Gateway out on the front, cannon just warping in, probes blockading the way so that they can't quite get the run by. Single shot on that Zergling and an assimilator grab. And that will be the puzzle to me, is okay, now what do you do as a Protoss? Because you do need to... So he's grabbing double gas immediately. And I'm wondering if he's going to do some sort of double gate or a double Stargate Corsair Reaver interestingness like that. Anyway, tech delayer. Shuttle at least seeing that tech delayer is there. I don't even know what to call build orders on this map, to be honest. Because you can just do, especially because of that rapid, especially with this in play, where you can just grab that additional gas so fast. It really opens a lot of play up for Zerg, in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see Cybernetics Core opening in, the Overlord getting an eye on the tech. Pretty decent saturation at the natural expansion as well. The first Zealot being produced. So we aren't going to see a lot, and this is really handing things over where Soulkey could drone really, really hard off of this, should he decide to. Layer is finished. Drone going to go ahead and plop down that Spire. So we're going to see 3 hatch Mutalisk build. Single Zealot making its way across. Getting swarmed near immediately. Taking a little bit of base damage before returning back home. And the probe, it looks like, getting mauled as well. I'm surprised that Shuttle decided to go for that move out at all. Zergling speed also kicking online, so that probe now wiped out. 2 Zealots on the front, +1 weapons on the way. And it looks like, yeah, so Stargate up, Citadel of Adun, so maybe some DT play. I'm wondering if we're going to see a shuttle alongside to maybe try to breach and get some drops, because if Soulkey wants to wrap this back up to... So right now he's just playing it standard, which is crazy. So with the 4 hatch spires, so kind of like the standard bread and butter common meta these days. So 4, get the spire up, get the Scourge to take down the Corsair, and then maybe fold back to the Hydralisk den and play from there. Templar Archives warping in gateway. Oftentimes that'll turn into 5 hatch Hydralisk. We do have a 5th hatchery being dropped at the 9 o'clock location, which can really... It can be a challenge to make the Dark Templar play work in those scenarios, as long as you just have the Overlords overhead and plenty of Hydralisks. Ooh, and this Corsair coming in... Let's see if it ends up getting trapped by any of these Scourge and Overlord. So checking out the situation, seeing that additional gas. These 2 gas still remaining fallow, but they're very quick and easy takes. Worker count just about even. The Scourge folding out and Shuttle drawing back that Corsair into home base. So he's got the Templar Archives out. Zergling's kind of testing the front right there. Additional Corsair and +1 weapons to maintain air control is being upgraded. The Scourge going ahead and checking things out. One of them getting taken out by cannon. So plenty of cannon defenses. Scourge still somehow managing to get a land there on one of the Corsair. And rather than Dark Templar, we're seeing High Templar to start. And Psystorm. So Shuttle playing this very defensively. Some Scourge there along the 9 o'clock, which I don't think I like that play, because now that's a 3rd gas grab. So yeah, Soma's playing this. So he's gone up to 6 hatcheries and he's creating a SimCity at the 9 o'clock, presuming an attack. Never mind, there's the Dark Templar. I was about to say, okay, 1 High Templar created. Where's the Dark Templar? Phew, okay, there was at least one making its way out, and no Overlord as of yet here. Sorry, there is an Overlord and a Sunken Colony. 1 drone takes some damage, so 2 drones. So not a bad hit right there, but without active Corsair, I don't know that there's a lot else that's going to be happening with this Dark Templar. And even with the active Corsair, with Hydralisk starting to, and some additional Scourge out in the field, I don't know that the Dark Templar is going to find a lot of room. Gateway Flood now behind this. So interesting. So we're going to have +1 weapons finished, +1 armors on the way. We're going to have +1 Corsair, High Templar with a lot of energy under their belt, and some Zealots to maybe storm out and crash on one of these locations. My concern here, though, is again, with the 4th gas to take 3 hatcheries right here, and kind of a close reinforcement location, Soulkey is ahead in the overall worker count. If he just, it looks like he's going for +1 Carapace to make sure that the +1 weapons is going to be negated of the Corsair, so those Scourge can still remain fairly active in the air. My concern is that if Soulkey just keeps up with his macro overall, he's just going to have an overwhelming attack force to try to press into. So these Psystorms are going to have to be magnificent, is what it comes down to. Going to have to be some really solid Psystorms. Granted, I also have to note that the Scourge could be costly for Soulkey as well, because that's a lot of gas invested. But still able to land right there. Yeah, I don't know that Shuttle was counting on +1 armor right there. Was hoping to get a shred. Instead, being stilted a little bit, halted in his base, waiting on that +1 armor upgrade, and waiting for that troop flood to kick in. But already, Lurker Tech just about finished. A lot of Hydralisks are out in the field. The Zealots starting to march out. The Robo is there. Zergling swarming that Dark Templar. It's getting wiped out, but still 10 Zealots. And they are going to trade very, very efficiently versus these Zerglings. But Hydralisks at a pretty good SimCity there at the natural expansion, and a grouping of Hydralisks there at the 9 o'clock as well. And Shuttle needs to be careful that this Zealot attack force doesn't overdedicate and get swarmed. The Zergling's also able to spot those Corsair. Dragoons filtering in preemptively to deal with I don't know, maybe a lurker contain as far as a follow-up. No fourth gas grab as of yet from Soulkey. +1 weapons just going to finish for these Hydralisks and look for him to get active as soon as that's complete. So yeah, now the Hydralisks and lurkers starting to move out on the field. And yeah, I just am... With Shuttle's game plan, I think it gave Soulkey a little bit too much leeway. And now there's a lurker contained right outside his doorstep. Psystorm, mostly a nice dodge there, I want to say. The Zealots getting boxed out. Hydralis getting some good exchanges actually down below. Some follow-up Psystorm, able to catch a couple additional Hydralisks, but that front door still has a pretty good lurker spread. An Overlord isn't here in position, but that... Let's see for there... Do we have any additional Psystorm? Yes. At least that's going to push that back. The Zealot's going to remain out of the field for the moment, so that's at least some map presence. But now you've got Overlords in position, some Zerglings, some Lurkers as well. Scourge, which could very quickly pick off some Observers. That was a big investment of Corsair. They really haven't been active at all. Ooh. Forge getting wiped out. Just get wiped out. And now Soulkey has a firm box in of his opponent, plus that fourth gas easily accessible. The Zealot's starting to march back around. I don't think Soulkey's forgotten about it. Corsair looking to get active as well. No +2 weapons investment. That is 7 Corsair. So it's going to come down to these heroic Zealots and these Corsair to somehow do some counter damage to open the game up. Looks like an Overlord has been picked off. Some nice vision sweeping, and I think Shuttle's doing a pretty good job. Ooh, lost a Corsair right there, but has done a pretty good job of keeping the Zealots out of vision range of the Scourge and everything else. But is still losing units here on the front. Observer does not yet have that range upgrade for vision, which can be very helpful in some of these breaks, and it looks like he might end up losing that forward gateway as well. So Soulkey comfortably sitting on these 3 bases. The Corsairs waiting, now engaging. This could be a turnaround moment. Overlord's backing up. They're going to re-engage with the Sunkens. It looks like the Hydralisks doing a great job of blockading the Zealots, so they're taking damage from the Sunkens and engaging the Corsairs simultaneously. Only 2 remaining. And it looks like some reinforcements from the 9 o'clock position. This has kept Soulkey in the red for a good period of time, but the Zealots now are gone. The 2 Corsair... So 1 Corsair is left. Is he going to get that Overlord? Does get that Overlord too. So that was a good amount of Overlords, but that front is still not breached. Or I should say that that blockade is not yet breached. So Soulkey's still in a strong position with this front door contained and a good amount of lurkers. Good amount of lurkers covering the front. Trying to sneak forward. Hydralisks now peeling in. So they're going to be Psystorm to greet them. Yeah, there is Psystorm. More reinforcements starting to peel to maintain. This is the moment for Shuttle. Is he going to be able to bust out and establish an additional base, or is Soulkey going to be able to close the gap? Zerglings pushing in. An Archon right there to send them right back out. The Observer has been wonderfully protected this entire time, and it looks like Shuttle is going to be able to just clear that lurker line. Well, I take it back. The Observer gets picked off last second. That was almost actually, and it looks like there's also a Mutalisk switch. Another Observer making his way forward. I was going to say, if that Observer remained alive, that would have been a breached front. Instead, a lot of Overlords moving out. I'm wondering if this is, do we have a drop upgrade? Curious about that play. Mutalisks with that tech switch now diving into the main, going to start raking those probes. So again, Shuttle still hasn't broken out of his main and taking some economic losses on top of it. Mutalisks skirting their way out otherwise. But now that front, yeah, been opened up at the very least. Soulkey didn't have time to reestablish. Some High Templar still got picked off, and the Observer once again wiped out. Another Observer is taking its place, but this is now looking scary. Mutalisks looking to see if there's any wayward High Templar to snipe. Shuttle still with a little bit of a supply lead. Large grouping of Overlords bottom left. Soulkey's not grabbing an additional base, weaving in, picking off one High Templar and forcing a storm over his own troops, but still a lot of healthy Mutalisks out in the field. Another High Templar picked off, another 2 High Templar picked off, but not a sizable lurker force to the south. So it looks like Shuttle might be able, if he can keep the observers alive, might be able to weave his way through. Now those observers, one of them down, the second one exposed, but this is an overwhelming amount of Dragoons and Zealots making their way out onto the front. +2 weapons versus +1 weapons, +1 armor. Supply lead overall for Shuttle. Chasing that army back. Soulkey now pushing around in a defensive stance, and Shuttle looks like he is going to be able to get that 12 o'clock base behind those, underneath the noses of those Mutalisks. Do Mutalisks have noses? I think they're noses. A lot of the lurkers, ooh, group burrowing. There's no Scythe Storm to punish that. And the Dragoons versus the Hydralisks, especially with just the +1 armor and no support, melting on the front. 8 retreating, the Mutalisks re-engaging. And yeah, this is going to be very important base to establish and hold. But Soulkey not able to hold the lines here. He has not gone out and grabbed an additional base, nor has he teched up, so he's going to have to do it with an overwhelming attack force here. So now it is going to be essentially base defense. If Shuttle can hold that 12 o'clock location, get probes there, he'll be in a great position. And Soulkey actually down 10 supply overall. So we'll see if, yeah, he's got all of his troops up in there. I don't know that he really, I mean, he can just come down off that cliffside edge, right? Although that might be some trouble. Single Zealot marching alongside. Oh, Shuttle actually, actually I worry about this a little bit now. Yeah, Shuttle having to walk down his own ramp into lurker fire. Getting some, and a High Templar getting picked off as well. Ooh, High Templar with bad rallies behind the lines. And gonna call GG because he boxed his own troops into the 12 o'clock location, so they're not able to defend that natural. And it was going to be an overwhelming troop count able to push through and wipe that out. And so minerals left for Soulkey overall, and Shuttle not able to get that base up and established. So GG. Back and forth. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, give a like and subscribe, support StarCastTV. Thank you for listening.